Today, we're going to be looking into Albedo, his backstory and some of the mysteries surrounding him. So, let's get started. Who is Albedo? Albedo is the chief alchemist and captain of the investigation team of the Knights of Favonius. He was sent to Mondstadt by his master to complete his final assignment. She told him to show me the truth and meaning of this world. He was named by his master, and his name comes from the second major stage of the magnum opus in alchemy, otherwise known as the Great Work. Albedo means whiteness and represents purification following the first stage of Nigredo, associated with chaos and death. So, where did he come from? His origins are not clearly stated, though we can infer from the information we have that he may be a homunculus created by his master, Rheindotter, which translates to something like Daughter of Frost in German. It is likely that her purpose for creating him was her need for an assistant in her studies of the ancient domains and artifacts of previous civilizations. She is a practitioner of chemia, an ancient and forbidden form of alchemy that bestows upon its practitioners the abilities necessary to create life. It is not studied or even known of by many of the 7 nations of Teyvat, but its lineage can be traced back to the cursed nation of Khaenri'ah, as we see in Albedo's story text. Khaenri'ah was an underground realm, and its natural fauna were few indeed. As such, its alchemy focused more heavily on the creation of life. The art of creation was known as the art of chemia. Why I think Albedo is a homunculus. A homunculus is an artificial life form, usually created in physical form first with clay, stone, or perhaps chalk in this case, and then given life through occult methods that are mostly unknown. In alchemy, the concept of transmuting base metals into gold is thought to be the final step in the alchemist's magnum opus, though this is argued by some to be merely a representation of the actual goal, which is the creation of artificial life. The art of chemia is exactly that. As we can see from Albedo's talents, words such as progeniture, meaning birth, abiogenesis, which is the process of life arising from non-living matter, and calcite, the mineral that makes up chalk, hint at his unnatural birth. But his second passive talent, homuncular nature, is perhaps the most obvious hint we have so far, that gives us a clearer understanding of how he came to be. Albedo has no memory of any blood relations. From birth, he was already adventuring deep within domains with his master. This is another hint to his unnatural origins. If he were adventuring deep within domains from birth, we can infer that he was created as he is now, and was able to perform the tasks requested of him by Rheindotter. His master was not his birth mother, but Albedo has no doubt that his life stems from her nonetheless. The creation of a homunculus is said by some to involve the feeding of blood to the lifeless shell created by the alchemist for up to 40 weeks. So it is possible, or even probable, that Rheindotter used her own blood to give life to Albedo, thus why he feels that his life stems from her, and why he has the same cold and analytical personality as his master. They share the same blood, which she did not give birth to him, not in a conventional sense. He once led a simple and contented existence. It was a life free of considerations, but dull in its monotony. His purpose centered on accompanying his teacher, executing her orders, and meeting her expectations. But this was soon to end. We also see that Rheindotter is still creating new life. As she shows Albedo, she tells him, "The universe is the dark essence of the true starry sky. and the earth is the accumulated memories of time and lives. The chalk, that is you. The earth is where alchemy gets its name, and is the basis of all life. And this? She demonstrated her technique before him as a huge life form burst from its culture tank in a shower of shattered fragments. This is new birth. As we can see, she is well versed enough in the art of chemia to create huge life forms, and must also be well funded, enough to have a laboratory large enough for housing the culture tanks she utilizes in her experiments. Creating Albedo would not be completely out of the question for her then, and I think the most likely action she would take if she required an assistant to aid her in her studies. How did Albedo end up in Mondstadt? After Albedo and Rhindot had discovered a certain artifact one day, deep in the heart of a dungeon, she disappeared, leaving only a single note, a recommendation letter, and a classical text. The artifact they found was known as the Heart of Nibirius. Nibirius is a demon from the Ars Goetia, like Barbatos, Morax, Paimon, and other gods we know of in Tevat, so we can fairly safely assume that this was the heart of a god, or at the very least, a godlike being. I have theories on who this god may be, but I'll save those for another video. Upon the note was written, Albedo, go to Mondstadt, find my old friend Alice, and give her the recommendation letter. Complete your final assignment. If one were to push the definition a little, she had left him another gift, the title of Creed Prince, and with it the acknowledgement that she had nothing further to teach him. The Alice that he was to find was a mysterious woman, perhaps more so than his master, and was suspected to be from another world much like our traveller. She has knowledge of science and technology alien to Tevat, and is an elder of the Hexen Circle, an organization that conducts Emansul explorations, which are the more ancient petrified trees that stretch down into the abyss. So, Albedo made his way to Mondstadt to find her. After receiving the letter, Alice considered its requests. So, Rand said you'll need a laboratory, and not one of a size that a civilian could build either. I know. And just like that, she threw him into the Knights of Favonius. The work of the Knights is actually quite easy for Albedo, requiring only 5% of his energy. Albedo had imagined that the rest of his energy could be spent on experiments, with the Knight's full range of apparatus at his disposal. And yet, Alice had a daughter, named Klee. Yes, that Klee. We'll be a family from now on. Treat her like a real younger sister. From that day forth, remedying Klee's disasters would come to take up most of Albedo's remaining energy. 3 years ago, Alice and a yet unnamed adventurer left their daughter, Klee, with Albedo and the Knights of Favonius. They left to travel to somewhere dangerous and far away, and so Albedo's time for research was further reduced to take care of his now younger sister. The classical text, though not given much attention or description beyond its name, has a lot of importance if it's what I suspect it is. Its name, Opus Magnum, is a clear reference to the magnum opus, or great work in alchemy. It is also one of the last extant manuscripts of this text in Tevat, suggesting the others are very old or, most likely, destroyed. Given Rhindot's understanding of chemia, a study of the ancient domains, and connections to Kenria, I believe this classical text is one of Gold's magnum opus manuscripts, somehow surviving the destruction of Kenria in the distant past and detailing the steps needed to complete his great work. Dainsleif, the Bowkeeper, and witness to the fall of Kenria, keeps an eye on Albedo for this reason. If Gold's magnum opus was a guide to recreate whatever caused the cataclysm 500 years ago, Albedo is walking the same path, as we hear in the line, "Chalk pursues gold," spoken by Dainsleif. Albedo's master may have taught him what she learned from the manuscript and its history, as he is aware of the danger he poses, stating, "If one day I lose control, destroy Mondstadt, destroy everything. Can I rely on you to stop me?" Now that Albedo has bottled up the essence of Jorin, he holds a dangerous power that I can't imagine is going to be a good thing in the future, especially if he brings it back to Mondstadt. But his question of whether Rheindotter created Jorin was probably the most interesting from the last part of his quest. If she did, it means that she was present during the destruction of Cainria and is over 500 years old. We also see in some of the new lore that Jorin calls his creator Mother, which didn't make much sense before, as Gold, said to be the creator of the monsters, is referred to as a male. But that's everything I could find on Albedo and the lore surrounding him. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, or want more lore videos like this in the future, let me know by liking or subscribing. And if you have any other suggestions, or lore subjects you'd like me to make a video on, let me know in the comments. Have a great day.